I've got a rundown of today's headlines, and up first, it's Inauguration Day in Afghanistan. Well, we came to Nigeria to find out. From Washington, D.C. to Salt Lake City, Utah, thousands of people participated in a national movement called Dignity March 2010. Chinese monitoring of the internet is such a sensitive issue here in China. 你们每天走到那个城市. Courtney, you were so savvy.
I try.
You were raising money like in every aspect of this whole fashion show. A suicide bomber carried out the worst attack on foreign troops there since September. We're here in Chappaqua, New York at the Douglas C. Grafflin School where former presidential hopeful Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton have voted. And this week, tens of thousands took to the streets of Athens, furious over the government's plan to cut wages and raise taxes. But the protests there turned deadly.
I remember that he always loved to dance, always loved to fool around. He was a great dancer. His smile just it lit up the whole room.
Yeah, look at your face.
Once in a lifetime smile.
But the 16-year-old from Staten Island, New York will now only be seen dancing in videos and in memories. Johnny Ray died while driving his parents' SUV. The car slid in the rain and crashed into a pole.
My son didn't even make it to the hospital. He went from the accident right to the medical examiner's office. And that's where I saw him. And I don't want any parent to ever go through that.
Johnny was a junior at Moore Catholic High School.
This is a school bus. So we almost made it to high school graduation. We almost made it.
Here inside Johnny's high school, his presence can be seen up and down the hallways. Here's a wall of letters written by his friends to Johnny, talking about the impact that he made on their lives and the type of person that he was. The star athlete had dreams of going pro.
He had scouts eyeing him out this past summer. I asked him, which would you prefer, football, baseball, as far as the majors? And he said, no, both. I can do them both. Oh, yeah, he had a plan. He had a plan.
Number 11, Johnny Ray.
Johnny took the car that October night without permission and without something else.
He didn't even have a license. He had just turned 16, 12 days prior to his accident. And we weren't home. He took the keys, and on an extremely heavy, rainy day, and the other kid involved in the accident with him told me afterwards that he never turned on the wipers. And he says, turn on the wipers, because I don't know where. I don't know how.
Teenagers are more likely to die in car accidents than adults. And according to a study, 1 in every 5 teens that died in car crashes in 2006 was driving without a license.
I have a couple of friends who've done it and done it after this. And I keep on telling them it's not a small choice because we just buried a brother.
You see your parents' keys at home, you can't wait to drive. Temptation gets to you. I did it before I was able to drive, but there's always consequences.
Do you think that what has happened is going to make you change the way that you approach driving?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even lately, ever since it happened, I just completely changed the way I drive, and I'm very cautious.
Now, Johnny's friends have their own message for unlicensed drivers.
Everyone that can't drive yet, it's no rush, be patient. It's not worth risking your life. We'll just learn from Johnny Ray's mistake. That's what he'll want.
He's never gonna go. He's always here in our hearts, in our souls, in our minds.
Adriana Diaz, Channel 1 News. This isn't the only Great Wall President Obama faced this week in China. He also took on the Great Firewall of China, the Chinese government's internet filtering program. The president met with Chinese students at a town hall meeting on Monday. And while most of the questions centered on foreign policy, one chosen from online submissions opened the door for a discussion on censorship. The question was, should we be able to use Twitter freely?
I'm a big supporter of not restricting internet use, internet access, other information technologies like Twitter. The more open we are, the more we can communicate.
The internet both helps and hinders freedom of expression here in China. On the one hand, it gives Chinese people a far-reaching way to express their views. In fact, over half of China's 300 million web users have their own blogs. But on the other hand, the Chinese government restricts the information available on the internet by blocking websites and filtering out certain information. especially info that hits on politically sensitive nerves like human rights. The sites for both Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International are blocked in China. And if news websites publish overly critical articles, they too run the risk of being blocked. China even blocks favorite sites in the US like Facebook and Twitter. It's such a sensitive issue here that it was difficult to get teens to speak on camera openly. Some backed out at the last minute, and others asked us not to use their names. Do young Chinese people get frustrated sometimes that if they want to go on a website, they can't?
I don't think so. Like, for first, like, Facebook's not, like, as popular as QQ. Secondly, like, Chinese government, they don't block a lot of, like, websites. They only block, very, very, very few.
A 2007 Harvard University study says that there are actually more than 18,000 sites blocked in China. And I want to show you exactly what happens when you go onto a website that's been blocked by the government. So let's try going on to Facebook. Okay, so up pops an error message saying this page cannot be displayed. It's the same error message that you would get if you misspelled a website or if you wrote 4 W's instead of 3. It looks like there's just some kind of mistake. You're not going to see an error message that says this page is being blocked by the Chinese government. It's much more subtle than that, and this is what happens when you go to Facebook, when you go to YouTube, when you go to Twitter. Some say it's about culture.
The difference between Chinese and American culture are really, it's vast. The Chinese really look to their predecessors. The older generations know better. And so I think that in a way that justifies the role that the Chinese government has taken, the role that maybe several Chinese parents take in terms of censorship, because they feel like they have the authority and they have the right to really say what's appropriate and what's not.
But there did appear to be a crack in the Great Firewall. A CBS News analysis shows Mr. Obama's comments were posted in full on Chinese government websites, available to the more than 300 million Chinese with access to the internet. And more people are using illegal programs to get around government blocks.
If there was a Great Firewall of China, it has holes, lots of holes. It's less of a wall, more like a fence maybe.
Adriana Diaz, Channel 1 News.
That's cute.
These Delaware teens are looking for the perfect fit.
No.
Not to strut their stuff down the school hallway, this is a fashion show fitting.
All right, Keith.
18-year-old Courtney Rickards is the brains behind Strut for a Smile.
Go at it.
A student fashion show that's raising money for a charity called Operation Smile.
They provide surgeries for children with cleft palate and cleft lip, which is a facial deformity, birth defect.
Scientists don't know the exact cause of cleft lip, an opening in the lip, and cleft palate, a hole in the roof of the mouth, but they say mothers who are malnourished are more likely to give birth to children with the defect. More than 200,000 children are born with a cleft condition each year, and though it can be fixed with a simple operation, that's not an option for countless poor families around the world.
A lot of the families can't even afford the surgeries.
13-year-old Arafasi from Ethiopia knows that growing up with this condition affects more than just how you look.
When I want to play with the other kids in the village, they don't let me. They make fun of me and keep me from their games. I feel so alone.
She should be in the 8th grade, but Arafasi is so tormented by the other kids that she doesn't go to school. Instead, she hides out in her home and helps with the chores. Only a handful of Ethiopian surgeons are trained to operate on cleft lip, and besides, Arafasi's family can't afford the operation.
So Operation Smile comes in, they set up camps, and they do it for free.
Back in Delaware, Courtney's helping Operation Smile do just that. When she decided to put together a fundraising fashion show for a school project, choosing a charity was easy.
I wanted a charity that could aim at high school students. We care about image a lot. When you see a child who has that mouth or the facial deformity, you not only feel blessed that you have a perfect mouth, but that you can help that kid be beautiful for the rest of their life. Are you comfortable in it?
Courtney is not only the show stylist,
that is perfect.
She's the event planner and the fundraiser.
Okay, planning the show by myself has been stressful, to say the least, but it's so much fun.
Courtney hopes everyone's hard work will pay off.
I hope to raise at least $5,000. There are tickets that people have to buy. Students were $10 and adults are $15. There's donations. If the models wanted to buy their clothing, 50% of their profit goes to Operation Smile.
Courtney, you are so savvy.
I try.
You're raising money like in every aspect of this whole fashion show.
I just really want to help the kids.
Despite some minor wardrobe malfunctions, the fitting's a success. Courtney and the models are ready to strut for a smile.
Hopefully I don't trip and fall.
From surf gear to prom gowns, the show had something for everyone. That night alone, they raised $3,000. Money that allows Operation Smile to perform surgeries on kids like Arafasi for free. Transforming not just their looks, but also their outlooks on life.
After this, I want to go to school. I am beautiful now.
Adriana Diaz, Channel 1 News.